Okay, we're back. So this is my seal installer I made. It has that 50 thou extra compression in there, just like the other one had. So this fits pushed against the seal, like that. Shoves it in, goes in there, and you see how it's the same diameter as the case. So when it pushes in at 50. Initially it's going to push in flat, like that. Stop it flat, then you can flip it over and we give it a little extra squeeze, and it has this cork back in here, so it's, when you can feel it pushing harder and not moving, you know you're all the way against the cork. So that's what we're going to do. And remember, the seal goes in not with this lip sticking out, it goes in with a smooth all the way around on the outside. Right. So that all just goes in there like that. Put our cork in there right now. Okay. There's my spacer over here. A little bit of lubricant. So I put a little lube on our seal our seal area here. It's going to be hard to get in here and do it again because we're going to install this thing right now. Okay, so put that a little bit of lube on that. Put some on the lip in here like that, so it's not dry. Okay, then you take this and put it inside of here. So you want to go in an angle like that. Compress it, put it up around. Should pop in. You can see how the lip's trying to come around, so you just go in your finger and push it on the other side like it's supposed to. And it should drop right in. It goes. If you have to force it more than that, you're going to damage it. So now it's all the way down in there flat. Should be able to rotate it without too much effort. So it's in there. Put a little grease on this side also. So once again, this is going to be hard to get to some of this area here. So as long as it's just not dry. Okay, that goes in there like that. Now you always want to put the seal inside of the spacer inside of the seal. If you put the spacer in and push the seal over it, you'll invert the seal and destroy it every time. So always put the seal in first. This is cut out right here for the spacer to go up inside of it, so we sit flat on top of the seal. See? So we're pushing against the seal, not the spacer. Which means I can't do it like this. It's going to have to go in like this first every time. We just go down until it stops. When you feel it stop, quit pressing on it. Now, if you got a really bad case, you can put a little sealer on the outside edge, but basically it doesn't really do much because the cork is supposed to seal it anyway. But you know, if it's really bad, you can put some in there. Usually just makes a big mess, but it is what it is. Okay, back a room around here. All right. Go to our press. If you don't have a press for doing this, you have to beat in with a hammer, and they won't be very accurate. Let's see, how am I going to do this? Way would be nice. There we go. Oh, this has no studs on it. That makes it easy. Okay, so stick it right there in the middle. Just go down. Just like that. Not that I can hear very well the air compressor on. Alright, so I can feel it getting hard about halfway down, and I just kept going down further and further. So it's in there now. There's no way of telling if you're all the way against the cork or not, because you can't tell. But you can tell that this is not bound up, because see, I can move it. So I can move it in and out like this. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going side to side. That means we're not hitting on the cork. See, we're going like that. So it's moving. Also goes up and down freely, so it's not jammed up in there. That's what you want to see. You want to make sure you're not jammed up on anything. Okay, so that's how you do that. Pretty simple. If you have the tools. Okay. Lack of room around here. Okay. So if you want to put any goo in here or sealer, this is a good time to put sealer on top of this and let it sit and dry. So a lot of times I'll put 3-bond on top of this stuff here. You know, my 3-bond sealer. You just let it sit in there and let it sit overnight. Come back the next day. It's all encapsulated. Other times I use the the capillary action Loctite. It's blowing up. Oh yeah, it's blowing up. So you run the capillary Loctite on there and you let it sit right there along the edge, and it'll go and seal inside that edge also. There's two different ways of doing it. So if you want to use the capillary stuff, you just lay that up in there and run it all the way around the circle and just let it sit. So it's up to you how you want to do it. This one here, if I put the 3-bond in here, it's probably going to run and get into the bearing surface, which I don't want to do, because right now the seal's kind of inverted like that now. And that's probably because it's pushing against the cork on the outside edge, so if you look at it, it's actually cup shaped like this. I don't know if you can see it. And I'm sure that's because it's pushing against the cork pretty hard. So we know it's not binding on the cork because the race moves. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the little capillary action stuff on there. And the easiest way to do that is take a screwdriver, put a little drop on top of that, like that. Touch it where you want it to go. Just like that. And it'll actually run around that whole circle. Let it sit, it'll just go around. At an angle, let it sit. One drop's probably enough because I don't think there's any gap to seal in that. So we just let it do that, see what happens. We got other stuff we can work on while that's doing that. Okay, now if you forgot to put the big washer in there on the gear, I mean if you forgot to put anything in there right now, it's too late. So this here, it's still on there, so we're good. So I'm going to put the counter shaft together right now. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take this, I clean all the crap off this gear so it spin freely, it's all bound up. So I'm going to pop the snap ring off, take it apart, put some grease on it, put it back together again. So that just takes a little screwdriver to do that. Not my fancy one. Regular one. Geez, I got some fingernails to work with. I can just stick it underneath the clip and raise it. But this time my fingernail's not very active. Can't get under it. Not enough fingernail to get under there. That's going to make it hard to get off. That's pretty here. Try it again. Come on, get under there. Nothing to work with. Fingernail's failing me. There's not enough there to do anything. Okay, I'm going to try a little screwdriver now. Try that. Pull this device a little bit. All right. Okay, once you get under it, keep raising it up a little bit. Just pull out, pick up a little bit, get above the surface, move on to the next area. Keep doing that all the way around. Just make sure it doesn't pop back down on you while you're doing that. Get a little corner right there is all we got now. Boom. And just lift the gear up. Comes right up. Your bushing. Wipe off the grease that was left. Even though it's been clean, it's still got a little goo in there. Cleaner rag over here. Being used right now. Okay, surface is all clean. Grease in there. Now, when I do a tranny, I use a lot of grease. When I do a motor, I use assembly lube. Big difference. Transmission will eat up the grease. The motor won't eat it up. It stays and clops around a little bit. Now, they do make grease that's compatible with oil, and it'll break down with motor oil on it. But usually not these greases like this. This brake stuff usually doesn't do that. Make sure you put a little lube on the corner up in here for the washer to sit, so it doesn't run dry right there. Okay. Should be nice and free like that. Got your washer there with the two titties so it won't rotate. It dogs into the sprocket so it won't rotate. Then you get your snap ring goes back down. Grease, keep the crap out of it. And just like it came off, it goes back on. Just get the edge right around that. Just roll around the whole corner. Pop it over the edge. Once it's over the edge, it should slide down. Just push it down with your fingers, kind of even. When you get close, just use a screwdriver. See how it popped right in down there. And when you're all done, it should be able to slide with it a little bit like that. That way you know it's secure. Should have in play in it. So means it goes up and down a little bit, which this one does. Here, there, and it spins freely. So that's lube now. I could have put oil in there and did it like that, let it soak in a little bit, but the grease works a little better for this. Alright, interruptions.